Good evening, everybody. It is good to be back. It's been a little while. I'm aware. I'm sorry. I know I was meant to be on yesterday, but due to exams, I couldn't. Thankfully, the exam went okay. So we don't have to worry too much at the moment about that. So I can get back to my focusing on football, which I think it's fair to say has caused us a little bit of stress over the last week. The fan base is separated. The club is separated, I think, probably in its own individual way. There's division within the club. There's division on the pitch. There is division at the moment within every aspect of the club, which I think, 8 or 9 games in, this is really not what we need. So something's going to change. Something is going to change. And there is changes coming to the club, I will just say. Dane Murphy will be leaving. Obviously, we've got Filippo Giraldi as the new sporting director. We'll be talking a little bit more about him later on in a bit more depth, a bit about his time at Watford and a couple of concerns that people have shared. Because I know that people are talking about the positives of things, which is great. And I do want to talk about the positives of bringing in Filippo. But I also want to talk about some of the things, the drawbacks that people mentioned as well, so that you get a full picture of the people that the club are actually appointing and why they're being appointed. Now, Steve Cooper, obviously, tough situation, really tough. We're going to be talking about that as well. So make sure you stick around, you share this video, you like and subscribe and comment. And also, we will be releasing an interview in 2 weeks. It will be not next Monday, but the Monday after. An interview with a certain Michael Dawson will be coming out as well. So make sure you stick around and you listen to that one. You really won't want to miss this. Obviously, Michael Dawson, former Forest player, very well known within the club. And to be honest, it's probably the only positive in my footballing life at the moment, other than the fact that I've got to spend many moments hearing you guys singing at the stadium, which has been brilliant, by the way. But anyway, before I go into that, just want to say a quick hello. Kel, thank you for your kindness. Yeah, please, guys, if you can, share it to Forest groups, share it anywhere you can. And make sure as many people as possible can see this. And of course, please like and subscribe as well if you can. And also get involved with the chat as well. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And please don't feel silly. Ask a question, no matter what it is. I'll be more than happy to answer it and have a chat with you. Daryl, good evening. Hope you're doing well. James, good to meet you at the Leicester game, my friend. Sebastian, hope you're doing well, my friend. Chris, it has been a tough week, hasn't it, Chris? I mean, what can I say? What can I start with? Obviously, the Leicester game, I've not actually been able to do a post-match. So if you like, this is my post-match, although whatever Dor said probably summed up what I would say as well. Evening to everybody joining the chat. Rad Dad, Eve, Adam, good evening. Isaac as well. Look, I just want to say on Leicester, I don't think there was much positive to take away from that game. Okay, there wasn't much positive to take away from that game. I'm an optimistic person. I'm a very positive person, you know, and I don't want to speak negatively. But don't feel that what I'm saying now is about to go to me slagging off players, because I just want to say that anybody that does do this as a YouTuber, as a content creator, I will not participate in things with them during that time. Do you know what I'm saying? Because for me, I just feel like a lot of people listen to this, you know, and watch not just this stream, but other streams as well. You know, and we've got a really, really good set of content creators, but I feel like sometimes we can get carried away a little bit. And I just want to say, I think, you know, people's families do watch this. I do want to just say, and I'm going to make a bold statement in the fact that I'd like to keep Steve Cooper. Now, I've been called all sorts. I've been called a happy clapper. I've just been straight called a knob or a twat or something like that. I've been called some stuff about for this reason, for people that can't actually have a debate without just swearing at you. I think keeping Cooper is a lot more than just, do you think he can keep us up? It's a lot more than that. The reason I would keep Cooper is because, as Darren Fletch said, he's a classy fella. That's just one reason. I think he's got a lot of class about him. Not by any means the main reason. I think he cares about the club, which is rare. I think he cares about the city. I think he cares about the fans before his own job. Because I can imagine the pressure that's being put on him, which in my opinion, from the outside, would look unfair. Obviously, I think Simon Jordan summed it up perfect. I don't know if any of you have seen Talk Sport, but I think he was. I wouldn't say perfectly, but I would say that he's on the right lines. Because obviously I don't really know what's going in within the club, so we're only looking on from the outside. It looks a bit of a state, to be honest, and it looks as though from the outside he's being treated a little bit unfairly. But obviously I can't cast that judgment until I know. So until I know, I won't cast that judgment. But from what I'm seeing and what we can all make do from looking in from the outside is that that he'd be being treated a bit unfairly. And giving him one chance to turn things around is ridiculous, in my opinion. I think there has to be months. It's got to be a long process. This is a project, and there's people calling me out all the time saying, well, we don't have time for a project. Well, what do we have time for? Because the point of a football club is not just to go up one season, laugh about it at the start, then slag off the players when it doesn't go well. At the end of the day, there's obviously been some poor recruitment this summer, which people have warned about. I've not wanted to wade into the minority of people that did say this, simply because I don't know and I wanted to try and be as positive. But the recruitment wasn't great this summer. That's something we can tell. Dane Murphy's going to be going for said reason. They brought in a sporting director, from what I would say, to help with this. So it means that we're probably going to be bringing in people in January. And to answer your question, Kel, I think there will be loans, but I think we're going to have a good few incomings again. So yeah, I think there'll be a couple of loans. I don't think we'll see Jesse Lingard past the year. I don't think there's any way that he's signing a contract. And by the way, this isn't me saying that I don't want him to or anything. Obviously, we've still got time, and he's still got time to prove himself. I personally don't believe he will do that at left wing, although I think his attitude should have been different. But I don't think he could have done that at left wing. I think centre mid, or the 10 position for me, should have been where he was playing, right? But I feel that if we get rid of Cooper, and please, guys, in the chat, let me know how you feel, and please share this as well if you can. I think if you sack Cooper now, even if we lose the next 3 games, you know, even if we did have him, we lost the next 3 games, I would rather have stability within the club, because, okay, we're losing. It's not great. You know, you saw the arguments on the pitch. Sky literally focused their cameras on that, you know, and it was upsetting to see the players arguing. You know, Lewis O'Brien and Morgan Gibbs-White, there was a rift on the pitch that night. You shouldn't look too deeply into think about it and say, oh God, they all hate each other, because that's not the case. They all get on really well. And I think Cooper is the reason that they do so. They've cultivated a great atmosphere in the locker room, and I think that's important. But we've got to look at the fact that sacking a manager and hiring someone else can have such a profound effect on a club, or should I say, perhaps detrimental, actually. You're sacking a manager that needed to be sacked. Let's be honest. In the last 23 years, Wi-Fi having a few issues there. But as I was saying, the last 23 years, there's been managers that have to be sacked because they've been Philippe Montagnier. You know, there's managers you can name. But all I'm saying is, and I don't want to slag any managers off, by the way, because management is not as simple as putting out a starting 11 and that's it. It's so much more than that. But I think that this is Steve Cooper's a special manager. He's young. He's a young manager. You know, he might not have been a football player, but he's worked within youth football. He's won the World Cup with England, you know, the England under 17s or whatever it was. You know, he's done big things for a manager of his age already. And he doesn't have as much experience as other managers in the Prem, and I'm well aware of that. And I know that Rafa Benitez and Bruno Lage and Nuno Espirito Santos and Ranieri, all the names mentioned, Sean Dyche, do have more Prem experience than Cooper. But do they have experience of making a really good atmosphere in the dressing room? I'm not so sure. Maybe Dyche does. Perhaps Dyche does out of all of them the best. But to even suggest bringing in someone like Bruno Lage or Ranieri, for me, is ridiculous. And Benitez as well. I don't want you to get me started on it, because I don't feel that Benitez can organise a back line. I thought at Everton he was appalling. And if anybody really believes that Benitez is the correct replacement, which I don't believe there is one at this point in time, if they believe he's even a candidate to replace Steve Cooper, then that is crazy. I don't care how much he's won. I don't care what he did at Liverpool or whoever. I don't care what he did at Newcastle. The people that keep referencing to me, oh, well, he did all right at Newcastle. I don't care. That was, how long ago was that? What has he done since then? He went to Everton, nearly got them relegated. And who else only just saved them? Frank Lampard. I mean, seriously, these guys won't care about Forest either. Let me just warn you, these guys won't care. These managers will go to Forest, they'll sign a big compensation deal. If things don't go well, it doesn't matter. They've got all that old Premier League experience behind them that maybe other clubs might want if they're in a similar situation, or they can get a championship job. It's not a bother. Big compensation clause in the contract, and that's it. Nothing else will matter. And I just want to say, as I say, being a manager is not easy. I'm aware of that. But I really don't think that these managers, such as Benitez or Ranieri, would have the best intentions at heart. And I don't think they'd actually care for the club. I don't feel they would. Because these big name managers, let's be honest, they don't actually really care that much about a club. This is why Cooper's so different. He's left his home, nation, if you like, of Wales, obviously working with Swansea, and he's come somewhere that's different to him. Obviously, he worked at Liverpool before, of course, but he's come to Nottingham, somewhere he'd come on an away day and probably nothing else, unless he's trying to sign a player or something. And he's researched the city. He's embedded himself as someone who lives in the city and around, or the area around it. And I feel that I don't think you're going to see a manager like that again in the next decade, or maybe even a couple of decades. We've not seen a manager like that in the last 2.5 decades, and to be honest, I would rather keep Cooper and have some stability. Things aren't going well at the moment. But I do feel we've got to give him a chance here. And I know that there's people saying, but I think we owe him something. Well, of course we do, because he's got us up. But I don't want him just for that reason. I don't want Steve, and I just want to say that I don't want Steve Cooper just because of what happened in the promotion, right? I don't want him just for that reason. I want him because he's so much more than an on-the-pitch manager. He's so much more than that. It goes off the pitch, and I'm not just talking about in training. It's the family barbecues. It's the personal meetings with the players. It's the calling up players to make sure they're okay. You know what I mean? It's everything about it. He's such a personable person, and he's such a good manager. And I think that's why Forest did so well last year. And to me, this year, the reason they haven't done so well is probably because a little bit of it has been taken out of his hands. I know there's things going around, and this is obviously what I'm taking from what is being said on TalkSport and other news sources as well. That perhaps the things Steve Cooper's being blamed for, and things are being leaked out of the club as well, are downright disrespectful. It is disrespectful. I think you're right. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that the club have, if it is the club doing this, then I don't like the fact that that's happened. The fact that they've leaked, that they've withdrawn the contract. I don't like that. I think as a club, the reason that we're becoming so weak, not just on the pitch, but structurally, is because of the fact that these leaks are happening all the time. And actually, they're being done on purpose as a strategic move by someone. And I don't think Cooper deserves that. I don't think his team deserve that. And as fans, I don't think you deserve to go out and watch a game like that every week, knowing that something else has been going on. And I've actually said this for a while. You can look back at any of my streams. I've said that I feel that something's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, that is occupying Cooper's mind. Some of the decisions seemed un-Cooper-like, didn't they? Some of the signings seemed un-Cooper-like. There has to be more to this than what we're seeing. And in regard to Cooper's contract, there's everything. Look, I don't know, if I'm honest. I don't know. I've heard from a Greek journalist that it was a time problem. I've heard that he wanted 3 years and the club wanted 2. I've heard all sorts, but I don't know if it's true. So I'm not going to tell you because I don't know. I don't know anything more than you guys know on this. So, and look, I this is it. And this is the problem, because on Twitter, there is people that think or pretend that they know more than we all do. But I'm just being honest with you. I don't know anything more than you guys do. And if I did, I'd tell you, and that's just as simple as it is. As it goes for the club, it's going to be a tough week ahead. It's going to be a really, really tough week ahead. And I just want to say there's names being thrown around in the chat that this is not the case. This is deeper. This is, higher ranking, because I know for a fact that wouldn't happen. So no, don't even suggest that. That's crazy. It's not that. But obviously there's been rifts. There's been problems in the recruitment. I don't think the recruitment has been, you look back when Jesse Lingard first came, and I'm not going to say that I said I don't want him, because at the time I thought, oh, brilliant. West Ham, Jesse Lingard, Millie rocking in front of the away fans, getting a goal every now and then, getting a couple of assists, explosive, fast football. I thought that's what we need. Jesse Lingard will be great for that, But I don't think really there was much looking into how he was doing at the moment, and thinking about after how long he was out of football for, how he would actually perform. It might have been impulse, and that's a concern, So if I wish I knew, to be honest, what the situation is with recruitment. But Dane Murphy's going to toe the line, isn't he? He's going to go. And Steve Cooper's going to ultimately take a blame. Well, he already has. He's already taken a blame for a lot of the stuff. All you see on social media is, well, why did Steve Cooper bring in 24 players? And you just think, well, did he? Is this all him? Is it unfair to be blaming him for everything? I think he's taking on a lot, and I think he's taking on a lot of pressure. I just think it's a hell of a lot of pressure, and the idea of him having one game to turn it around. I just think this is the way it is. And Ben, you're saying that Cooper wanted him a ridiculous price, but I think originally the quoting was 15-20 million pounds. I don't think you can blame Cooper for that. I think to an extent the club wanted him as much as Cooper wanted him. They saw him as an investment in the long term, just as Tottenham saw Spence as an investment, different in terms of what role they would play at that club. But Cooper, Cooper wanted Morgan Gibbs-White, and the club supported him in that and were willing to pay for that. So I don't think it's fair to blame Cooper for how much Forest spent on Morgan Gibbs-White. Okay, I just want to say that, because I don't believe that's really the case. Of course, Cooper will have a say in it. I'm not saying he doesn't, but if you want a player that you feel is going to change a team, and by the way, I just want to say some of the criticism that's coming out for MG, but I don't really get it, because I actually think he was nobody was good at Leicester, but I thought he made a couple of good runs, and I thought he was putting in some good passes. I think they've got to support Cooper on what he wanted to do in the summer. They do it with everyone. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. And this is the thing with fans as well. There's a lot of uncertainty around what's going on at the club. We don't know. And it's leading to people to speculate, and then of course rumours circulate. As I'm seeing here, the names. These guys aren't leaking this. You know what I mean? This is something higher up here. And it's a shame. It's a shame. 8 games in, and this is really what it's come down to. It really does feel like we've been relegated already, and we've still got 30 games to go. Would you believe it, everybody? 30 games to go. Nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes, Ben, and you're right. So I just want to say, I'm not going to make any assumptions, but I am going to say how I feel about the things I know about and you know about. Some signings weren't that great, right? A couple of the team selections, questionable. I said on the last stream I didn't feel that Kouyaté was quick enough. Not to slag him off or say he's a bad player. I didn't think he was quick enough to be in that midfield. You watch him against Leicester, he really wasn't that quick. He wasn't quick enough, right? Could he, maybe have gone into a back four instead of Steve Cook? Potentially. That's why there was talks of a back three at the start that I know that Paul Taylor mentioned and BBC Sport mentioned that they were going to go for a back three with two wing backs. But obviously, back four it was, which surprised me a bit, obviously. But, as ACD Burnout says, Newcastle had 5 points after 8 games last year. So you've got to try and keep the faith, okay? And ACD Burnout, as much as I do agree, and I think we do have to keep positive, because, by the way, this is what I want to do. I don't want to focus on the negatives, but we have to stick by Cooper and allow this process to happen. And I don't mean losing every week. I don't think that'll be the case for much longer. I think we can get a result on Monday, right? I think we can get a result on Monday. Aston Villa aren't looking brilliant, but I'll give credit to Steve Cooper, to Steven Gerrard, where it's about Cooper. Cooper does need more time. He's a new manager in the Prem. We're 8 games in. If you're changing managers 8 games in, I genuinely fear for the future of the club. And yeah, I'm not going to go any stronger than that because I could, because it's frustrating. Because all I'm seeing on social media is the pressure that Steve Cooper's being put on, and the leaks of Forest talk. Steve Cooper, he can probably see without having it told directly to his face. I mean, it just looks from the outside really a lot of pressure, too much. Prepare for, and the players as well, they'll all be on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, whatever and they're all looking at this going, I'm being called this every week, I'm getting phone calls to this every week, I'm getting people saying get rid, that they hate me, do you know what I mean? People that liked me, Oh, sorry if the stream keeps freezing, by the way. Couple of Wi-Fi errors there. Oh, what's going on? Not sure what's going on, everybody. Trying to running. Apologies for this. Yeah, sorry. I hope you're all well. Wi-Fi is just not playing ball with me this evening. I've got an Ethernet cable, which doesn't seem to be doing its job at the moment. So, not sure what's going on with that, to be honest. Sorry about that. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, look, this is going to be a really tough few weeks for Forest. And Greg, you stop it, you naughty man. Don't you start that. It's going to be a really tough few weeks. We're going to have to face up to the idea that actually things might not go the way that that we would hope. I don't know how you all feel. Are you Steve Cooper in or are you Steve Cooper out? Please let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Are you Steve Cooper in or Steve Cooper out? Because look, I think Darren Fletcher was correct in what he said earlier. Actually, he said Forest have recruited the midfield, and every single one of them is a very different player, because a lot of clubs, they like to recruit a certain type of midfielder, right? And they'll keep that kind of consistent throughout the recruitment strategy. This is what Darren Fletcher said. And when it comes to Forest, we've actually recruited, Freuler, Kouyaté, Mangala, O'Brien, Lingard, Morgan. We've recruited all these different midfielders. Ryan Yates, obviously, that we already had, but they're all ridiculously different midfielders, which means that, as he says, you have to change the plan every time. So it's really, really difficult for Cooper to choose a midfield. And the way that Fletch put it, I felt, put it more into perspective. They've signed players that are so different in every way in the same position. And it means you have to change system to suit a player every time. And that's almost impossible. So maybe when you see them put out Freuler and Yates, it's just because those two midfielders are, to Cooper, more likened than Freuler and O'Brien or Freuler and Mangala. Maybe they just work better together in training. Because don't forget, Steve Cooper sees them 6 days a week and we only see them one. You might see the odd thing on Facebook and think, I know what I'm talking about, but you don't. We don't see them anywhere near as much as Cooper. So a lot of you saying keep Steve Cooper. I've not seen anybody actually say get rid. But let's have a look. If it weren't for Cooper, we would still be in the Championship. Absolutely. Good evening. I hope you're doing well, Ralph. Good to have you on again in the near future. Get your boots on, Jay. You know what, Andrew? Tempted. I'm an all right midfielder. I think I could do it. Probably in League Two, if that. If I was Cooper, I'd walk out after so much disrespect. He deserves better. I'd rather get relegated with Cooper. Yeah, I mean, Dad, look. It's really... I think we're all Cooper in, right? I think we're all Cooper in. But, and in this, I don't really understand Christopher. I don't know why the owners have lost trust in him when in my opinion, I don't know what they have had to lose trust in him for. He said, this is our plan. The recruitment team have gone and recruited. Obviously, some of it isn't great, and fair enough. He's gone and set out a plan. And if that recruitment hasn't been done correctly, then I don't think you can just blame Steve Cooper for that. And I don't see why the owners would lose trust in him. Maybe they've lost faith in him because he hasn't done what he did last year. But he's a new Prem manager. And surely they understood that when they, when he got to the Prem season, because they could have said to him, look, Steve, with all due respect, we're going to look for other people and, someone that's got Prem experience. I mean, it'd be the ridiculous thing to do and you'd never see it in football, but you know what I'm saying here. I don't even want to think about getting in other coaches. Do you know what I mean? And Charlie, Langstaff's a brilliant striker. I just want to say, going off on not a tangent about Notts County, but County are well put together. And that's the difference. But the thing is, that's what happens when a team that, there's probably other teams in the National League that are better than County ability-wise, but they've got all the confidence and the motivation. And look how well they're doing. They're beating Wrexham, you know what I mean? And Wrexham bring a good crowd. They're a hard team to beat, but they beat them. As much as it's about what they do on the pitch, it's also about the confidence. And we've seen this team with a similar kind of system against Tottenham. And as and this is literally what Darren Fletcher said, that if we played like how we did against Tottenham every week, we could beat a lot of these teams. We could have beaten all of these teams that we played in the recent weeks. Do you know what I mean? This is it. It's there, but there's a big confidence gap. There's a big confidence issue in that squad as well. That's something you do have to speak about. Huge confidence issues, and all these rumours on social media, in the media as a whole, aren't helping them. They're not helping them. And all that we can do is just be, as I say, the 12th man that always tries to help out where we can. The thousands of you that were singing at Leicester, you nearly had me in tears because you were brilliant. And just how fantastic you were when we were losing to have gone and done that. Phenomenal. I mean, this, is correct. I mean, if this is true, and I do have all the faith in Daniel Taylor, by the way, then that's crazy. That's crazy. So I do ask you, Christopher, should the owners have lost trust in Cooper, or should Cooper have lost trust in the owners? Because if you're looking for managers at that point already, albeit a very poor game, that's crazy. And of course, of course you can't stop them spreading on social. I'm not saying that, us singing or us doing anything is going to stop that. But you can at least, getting behind the players and the manager will at least have a profound effect on player confidence. That will happen. But you can't stop the rumours. No, you're right, absolutely. But we've still got a part to play, I think. Dyche is the only option if Cooper leaves, perhaps. In terms of how well he knows Nottingham, that'd be why I'd be more inclined to get him as manager. But even then, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I think we'll win this week and Leicester lose, perhaps. I would like to see us beat Aston Villa. When was our last game against them? It wasn't the 5-5, was it? Can't remember now. If Zach Cooper will go to another club, I mean, look, there's so many managers that go through rough patches. You look at, and I mean, it's completely different, but when Sir Alex came from Aberdeen to Man United, he was 11th for a couple of seasons, and Man United was so close to sacking him, and they didn't. And the rest is history, isn't it? And I'm not saying by any means that Forest and Man United can be likened in that way, and Sir Alex and Cooper, but Sir Alex didn't have any Prem experience and didn't go great to start with, but gave it time. So we've got a part to play, and let's play it. Is Dane Murphy definitely going? Well, it's looking that way, yes. Obviously, Filippo Giraldi's coming in. Not that that's going to be the thing that pushes Dane Murphy out particularly, but it looks like that the owner, from what we're seeing on The Athletic and others, is not happy with Dane Murphy. So it looks like he's going to go, and he'll end his Forest journey soon. Fairy tale is over for him. What do you think to the Giraldi appointment? He's very hands-on, which some might argue is good. But my problem is, and my concern is where people have mentioned, and in particular, The Athletic have mentioned, it was, I'm trying to get the name of the journalist that did it. I shared it on Twitter. If anybody wants to have a look, by the way, go and have a look on Twitter. It's a really, really well done article. And just trying to have a quick look and see if I can find it now. It was Adam Leventhal, who is the journalist that covers Watford for the Athletic, and he was essentially saying that reports coming in saying that basically he likes to micromanage. He's been known to sit in the dugout with the manager and talk to them. There's pictures of him talking with Pearson, I think it was, when he was at Watford, on the sidelines. He's known to turn up to training. He's very hands-on, but for me, I think that'd be too much. I think Cooper's got to be left to do his job. And I don't know how much Cooper would particularly like that approach. But maybe Forest are thinking further than that, if you know what I mean. So I'm not sure about it. He's got experience at Watford, obviously when they stayed up and stuff. But I'm not 100% sure. I really don't know enough about him to be able to suggest anything. But I think there's good sides and there's bad sides. You've got to look at both. So we all play a part. Yeah, of course. People calling out, I mean, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're on, people calling out footballers publicly, they can see what you're saying. Sometimes they do, very rarely reply. So yeah, look, there's, constructively criticizing a player or, kind of giving your honest thoughts that isn't an insult. Not really anything wrong with that, but it's when it goes to talking about their family, talking about them personally, things like that, I don't really like. And I don't have big respect for, so, but things do have to change. things do have to change. And also, we've the attitude of the players has to change as well. Like there's certain players on that team that could be playing a lot better. Like I think Lingard would be one of them. He is a good player when he's on his day. And I think if he's played in the right position as well, I just want to say, because I think left wing doesn't suit him. But for me, I'd rather see him in as a number 10. Apologies. Stream's cutting out. Sorry about that. So, look, I'm sorry if this is cutting out, by the way. My Wi-Fi hasn't been great tonight, which is just brilliant, isn't it? Typical. Nothing wants me to stream. Nothing wants me to stream. Everything is trying to stop us, but it won't. We're going to be on here for another 20 minutes, so we're going to have a quick discussion also about a couple other things. But look, it's a really tough situation. I know that, Ben Lee Charnley, his name's been mentioned, the former Newcastle guy. Lots of names being thrown out there. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just feel that it's a tough time and it's stressful as well, because I really don't want Cooper to go, because I can just already foresee the things that will happen if he does go. It would be ugly. It would be very, very ugly, in my opinion. Very ugly. No, you can't stop me from streaming, Owen. You know this by now. You can't stop me from streaming. It's true. It's true. And 100%. And this is actually something else. The social media, the part that social media plays in player performance is huge. Trent Alexander-Arnold, people saying he's been exposed and stuff like this. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's just a case of you've got all these people, piling in on him, calling him shit, saying he's not worth it, just calling him rubbish in general, and people making threats to him. Harry Maguire too, and I don't think that Harry Maguire's worth 80 million, but he didn't choose that price tag, and it's unfair to hold him to that. So when it comes to Trent and Maguire, you have to look and you have to say media is playing a part in their demise, right? Probably they could be doing different things on the pitch, of course. But I know for a fact if I'm on the pitch and I've got people shouting or I hear people talking about me after the game, I just think that it would make me upset. It made me upset, throughout playing football, and I'm just relating this to myself on this one. Throughout playing football as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old and downwards, whenever someone said something about me and it's upset me, the next couple of games I've not played that great, and that's, I might be a rubbish player, whatever, but, when you get encouraged, it's a different thing. If your team's losing 6-0, don't give up and start calling them and slagging them off. You've got to get behind them no matter what. You support this team, this badge here, right? This badge here, right? Not this one. This one is what you have supported since you were a kid. This is what you've sacrificed time for. You've all those days that you've had with your parents, your friends, everyone, maybe even yourself, just going to watch the game. It's all for this badge. That's all that matters. Do you know what I mean? This is all that matters. And we've got to stop comparing other players to other players in terms of, oh, well, he did this or he did that. And I just want to say this. I'm massively grateful for Jed Spence. Wi-Fi's gone off again. Sorry about that. I just want to say I'm grateful for what Spence did. I'm grateful for what Zinkernagel did. I'm grateful for what Davis, Lowe, when he had the chance, Samba. I'm grateful for what everyone did. But we have to move on now. We can't keep comparing players to players. We can't keep saying, well, Awoniyi is no Davis. We can't keep saying Williams isn't no Spence. We can't keep doing that. If we keep living in the past in that regard, we will never go forward. People need to see. We need to see this. Please be honest with me. I know that people are saying they'd rather have Spence than Williams, but I don't think that Spence has the work ethic that Williams has. And also, I don't feel that if it came to the Premier League, Spence's defensive ability would be enough. Because how often have we been able to see Nico Williams run down the right wing, as a right wing back? We haven't been able to see it. You don't get that many opportunities. I don't think Spence would have done that in the Premier League. And that's why I back Williams. You've got to back who you've got now. You've got to back them. And all I see is, all this about Johnson as well. And it's like, well, I've seen him play for Wales, a team that, has some good players in it. But you could argue Forest might have a better midfield than Wales. I don't know. In some respects. Why do you think that Johnson's doing good for Wales and things aren't going well, quite as well, with Forest now? Well, the formation's apart, right? And let's be honest, how much delivery are they getting? Essentially none. And people do make mistakes, right? But I just want to say, why do you think that player confidence levels are so low? Because all people do is slag them off, and the players do see this. They do it at the ground. That horrible shout that people make at players, just the one person just going crazy and then everybody else joins in. That's not good. This is why things aren't going so well. We've got a part to play as much as Steve Cooper does and the players do. And shouting at them, slagging them off on social media every week does not help that. Just my opinion. But I thought Aurier was brilliant. I just want to say, I think Williams just needs a rest, to be honest. He's played full 90 essentially every game, hasn't he? And maybe watching Aurier do his thing and learning a bit from a more experienced Premier League player for Tottenham, and PSG and Villarreal, Serge Aurier has played in some fantastic games and competitions. This guy's got way more experience than Williams, and he could be a great mentor to Williams. But the problem with Aurier is, although thankfully nothing happened that night at Leicester, he's always got a red card in him. Very aggressive and can sometimes be a bit rash, which in our defence we've already seen before, So, but Michael, we say switch him to left wing back, but you become so oversaturated. There'll be 4 left wing backs you've got there. It's too much. And as much as I'd like to see him do that, because that's how he does for Wales, it is too much. It's too much. Look, I just want to say, Andrew, thank you for that. Really appreciate that. I do try. And I'm just going to say, not everybody's going to agree with me on this, right? Not everybody's going to agree with my views on Forest, of the manager, of the team layout. People aren't going to agree with lots of things that I say. And that's okay. We don't have to fall out about it, though. We can still be friends. We can disagree and still be friends, right? That's one important thing. Oh God, my Wi-Fi keep. Oh God, I hate this bit when my Wi-Fi keeps going off. Stop. Owen, I don't agree. Personally, I don't agree. When it comes to defensive, Williams was against Harvey Barnes the other night. You put Jed Spence against Harvey Barnes. I don't think he's doing it. And I'm not. And by the way, I'm not slating Jed Spence because I actually really like Jed Spence. I think he's a good player, and I think Spurs need to use him. But you can't seriously tell me. I don't believe that Spence is better defensively than Williams. I don't believe it. I don't think you can say, okay, Williams did have a bad game, but I think as a collective, it did not help him. The whole team, it didn't help him. I don't agree on Owen on that one. How do you all feel? Is Williams a better defender, or is it Spence? It's got to be. It's got to be Williams. Awani is a waste of space. Look, I think that's a confidence thing as well. 2 goals that could have happened. Yeah, I think that Awani could have done better in that game in regards to shooting. But look, get behind him. You know, that's all I can say. I'm not going to go out and say he's rubbish, and I'm not going to do any of that because that's not what I do. Because I wouldn't want it to, you know, I wouldn't want people doing that to me on a match day. You know, I wouldn't want that. He did, but it's one game. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can look at some of these games, and I thought that Williams was brilliant. You know, Martinelli was fantastic, but and Phil, you're absolutely right. Hope you're doing okay. Apologies, stream keeps cutting out. Streams keep cutting out. I'm really sorry. Please do stick with me. Please do stick with me because the stream is just cutting out briefly every now and then. William, Spence, we've got a bit of a mixed panel. And yeah, I suppose we do need someone a bit more aggressive, but I just think at times he's a little bit too aggressive throughout his career and has been. But that would be my concern, to be honest. Williams' stats are actually really good, to be fair. They even brought it up. But exactly, people are just looking at the fact that we've conceded this many goals. But in reality, Williams' defensive stats are really good. Look at how many times he's won a ball back and things like that. And he never gives up. I like it. I think he's just a brilliant player. I really think we've got a good player there. And one bad game or one shaky game, you know, it happens in all players. The whole if he's in a Forest shirt back him, but the majority didn't. Well, no, but this is a different thing. I back every player that walks onto that pitch, but whether I want them to go onto that pitch and play is completely different, because I don't think that's a really good argument to make in the respect. And to be fair to you, Sonny, like I think that I back anybody that Steve Cooper puts out, but of course I might not want someone on a pitch, or I might not believe that they are the best person to go out on that pitch. But if you looked at it with that attitude, go and chuck all the academy players on there then. You know, we will back them, but let's be honest, we don't want them to be in the starting 11. I like Colback a lot, and he did a lot for us last season, but we've got better options there, so we have to utilise them for the better of the club. That is better for me, I think. We need to find the right formula to get the spine right. Absolutely. You know, and this is a process, everyone. 24 players, you got to gel. It was never going to be easy. It was never going to be easy. So thank you, Andrew, for your donation. Too kind. Too kind. I hope you're all doing well. Please keep commenting if you can. So, yeah. Some weird comments coming in. So having a look at some of the comments, apologies for that. I just had to, can hear a bloody dog squeaker in my thing. I hope you can't hear that. Ain't you beautiful? Weird comment. Mangala looked decent when he came on, so he needs to start. 100%. Probably the reason he didn't start, I would imagine, is due to fitness. And in hindsight, it's okay saying that, but to Cooper, you don't know how a player's going to be after injury. So it's always a risk, especially in a game like Leicester, which obviously in hindsight, we could say, well, we have nothing to lose. But yeah, of course, the academy is strongest and most underrated, but they couldn't do it in the Prem. I think you've got some brilliant players in there. Donnelly, Abbott, Taylor. You've got some brilliant players in that academy, but I wouldn't put them out as a first team in the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? 23 years of hurt. I can do another year. I don't want to do another year, Andrew. That is last resort. Don't get me wrong. And thank you for your donation as well. I really appreciate any donations that people have made. It means a lot to me. I don't want to do another year. I still think we can stay up, and I'm sticking by my my prediction of 15th. Please, guys, if you can, like and subscribe, show some love, and please share as well, because don't forget, in 2 weeks, that's 2 weeks, we're going to have former Nottingham Forest two-time player Michael Dawson coming on a podcast. If you want to have a listen, you can. We will be discussing everything. Who is hopefully going to be our manager by the time we interview him, to also his career playing days as well. Get involved. And you can do that by liking and subscribing. And also, putting notifications on as well for all our videos. Problem Cooper doesn't seem to know his best team. Yes, absolutely. I think Niakate going was a massive blow because I think he had an idea of what he would want. Worrell, Niakate and McKenna, perhaps, which I would be okay with. But obviously, things get in the way and other directions are needed. Problem isn't the manager or any new manager that comes in will have the impact. Well, of course, yeah. I just think that any manager that comes in, I mean, you got to think about it. None of the 24 will be his players, guaranteed. He won't probably know many of them. Will he know what to do with them? Not necessarily. Will those players know their strategy? Probably not so well. And these managers that we're seeing being lined up, I think it'd only be Morgan Gibbs-White that really knows any of them properly, I think, given his fact that he worked under Bruno Lage at Wolves. So, for me, no. I wouldn't even think about switching managers at this point. Got the Costa Rican kid, of course, Brandon Aguilera. I think there's probably a contingency plan there in case things do go wrong. Investments made, which is always smart. But I don't even want to think about it yet. Centre of the park that's hurting us. Pick 2 or 3 and stick with them. Kouyaté doesn't meet the standard. I do have the faith. And Scarpa, yeah, joining in January, I think so. I do have the faith, by the way. I just want to say, I will not bet on. I will not bet against Forest, whatever it is, even in Super 6, right? If if I don't believe we're going to win, I still won't bet against them. I won't bet against Forest, so I won't go and say, right, I'm gonna go and bet us to go down. We're getting relegated. That's it. No, I'm gonna bet with Forest that we're gonna stay up. And it's going to be hard and it's going to be really not fun to watch at times. But when you said you wanted to come and watch Forest in the Premier League, you should have read the small print. We're not going to win every week. Okay? We're not going to win every week. And there's 90 points. As Andrew says, 90 points up for grabs. And we only need 34 of them. That's a third. We only need a third of the 90 points available. That means we need, what would it be, a point every game? Would it be? I don't know. About a point every game. Just over a point. That's all we need. It's not going to be easy. And we're going to need to do a lot of work. We've got to stick by the team. Got to. Evening, Ez. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Definitely catch you on the next stream. It's a solo stream today. It's a solo stream. It's just me today, which feels odd to say. I will be departing very shortly, though, in the next 15 or so minutes, because I'm loving this. We're all having a great chat. It's good to be back. Any news on Niakate? I've not seen if he played for his nation. I think he was training and he went with them. But if if he does play for Forest in the near future, which I hope he will, I think it will make a massive impact. Let's have a look at some of these. Why on earth did Cooper select McKenna and Cook to play together? He's seen training for 6 days a week, Joe, and look, I don't know what he sees in training. So I'm not even going to comment. I'm not even going to comment. I think motivation will be there for the Villa match, 100%. And I think the fans will be behind him as well. We all want Cooper. And that's as simple as it is. I think more people want Cooper than want him out. And I think people don't realise that. The club is more united in regards to Cooper staying than they are against it. I'll pay to subscribe to your channel if we stay up. Oh, you're too kind, Phil. No, you don't have to do that. I am thinking about bringing in memberships, though. I've given it some thought, and I'm thinking about it. If people do want it, because Andrew Sharp, I don't know where he is tonight. I'm gutted. And Kev as well. I didn't see Kev earlier. But it would be, I might bring in memberships, exclusive interviews, exclusive views from the match, just other little things like that. I mean, I'm not talking about actual match videos because I'm not allowed to sell that, obviously. But yeah, for me, I would like to do memberships if people want it. Andrew says he wants it. But yeah, exclusive interviews, stuff like that. I might have to think about it. Look, Gordon, I just think you're negative at every, and I'm not going to shy away from saying this now because I don't like to do this to people in the chat because I know you're all giving your opinion, but I just think you're negative on almost everything you say, and you can call me deluded, but you've never once wanted to come on the stream and talk about it. So if you want to come on the stream, my friend, you know where my Twitter is. Feel free. I'll send you a link. That's cool. All behind the screen. Dane's gone for reasons that the club knows about. The club obviously don't think he's done the best job he can over the coming months, and they don't want him to be there. There's nothing more to it than that, from what I know. So, and what you guys know, you've all seen it on the Athletic and the Telegraph. Although John Percy has blocked me, so I did have to find out for a friend what he was saying. I was looking for your membership option as I want to be a member on your channel. Oh, do I do it? I've always been against it, to be honest, because I've never. Do you know what? Then I may do it. Come Christmas, I may bring. Yeah, I may do it at Christmas when we do the World Cup streams. So, I need to sort my hair out. I need to get a haircut, everyone. It's looking a bit tragic, to be honest. Oh God, look at it. It's shocking. It's horrible, isn't it? Bloody headphone hair. Look at this. So Percy blocked you. The reason Percy blocked me is, and I want to sort my hair out. I just want to say I actually really like John Percy as a journalist, and I thought, and I actually thought that a lot of the stuff he writes was true. I just said that Renan Loddy, when he signed, he didn't have a medical the day before as suggested by him. He had it the day after, which I don't know what's wrong with me saying that, to be honest. But yeah, he didn't like that, and I got blocked. So I sat next to him at Leicester the other day, and I didn't know what to say. So I really like John Percy, but he obviously doesn't like me, so that's fair enough. I think there are 10% that want Cooper out and 90%. Yeah, I think that's about right. If it was to be my pressure, I would risk Niakate to start and Surridge. Perhaps. I mean, look, I would think I would start Surridge on Monday, if I'm being honest. And I know that people are saying start Dennis. I mean, perhaps you could start Dennis in a striking position, but I'd rather have him left wing. I don't really want to have Lingard as a left wing. Put Dennis on the left wing. Maybe Surridge as your striker. I think he's more clinical, and I think he would have perhaps got 2 of the goals at Leicester. Maybe. Come on, mate, get on with the sponsor membership. I'm gonna try. If you guys want it, I'll do it. Where you book it at? Do I wear the bucket hat or do I wear the Union Berlin scarf as like a ninja thing, like around my head? Let me know. What do you want to see? Because we haven't seen the scarf yet, have we? So Adam Shelton, thank you for your kind donation of £1, my friend. You are a hero. You're a legend. Much appreciated. And money donated, obviously. The money from the last couple of months, we're going to be giving away to charity. I promise you, I will do it. And I'm going to do it, going to get all the screenshots and everything. So yeah, I'll sort that for you. Charity stuff is going to be going through soon. And also, I'm going to have some pretty big news for you soon. And this is not just in terms of interviews, because there will be some massive interviews coming out with current Forest players, potentially, and lots of former Forest players as well. So keep yourself in the loop. There's going to be some big things coming. And if you do want to see these, just literally keep subscribed. It doesn't cost anything. And I will never produce content that I don't feel, I will never produce content that you can't view for free, right? And I know that memberships is coming in, but I think that'll be more of a kind will gesture. Obviously there'll be little things as well, but there won't be anything major that people won't get to see, because I don't think that's fair. I want to produce my content for free and for everybody to see and have a look at. Thank you very much, Ben. Kev, you want the bucket hat? Guys, please put your vote in the chat. Do you want bucket hat or scarf? Put your vote in. I want to hear what you're saying. What's your team for Monday? So, Chris, in goal, Hendo, which I hope isn't too controversial. I'm going to go Hendo. Hennessy could have got a look in, but I'm going to go Hendo this time. I'm going to go on the right wing or the right back. Sorry, we'll go for a back four. I'm going to go for Nico Williams. Right centre, I'm going to go Joe Worrell. If he's back, I want to go for Nia Carty on the left centre. And then Loddy on the left back for me. I thought that second half was much more improved. But you could probably tuck Toffolo in there if you really wanted to. In the midfield two, I'm going to go for Mangala and O'Brien with Morgan Gibbs-White just in front. Then Dennis on the left wing, Surridge up front, and Jono on the right wing. That'd be my team for me. You want the bucket hat, do you guys? Yeah, that's my starting 11. Big up yourself, Jay. Thank you very much, Red Dog TV. You're a legend. I think Andy Reid does have Prem experience. Didn't he go to Tottenham, if I'm not mistaken? I'm pretty sure he did. I'm sure he was with Michael Dawson. I might be mistaken on that, though. Let's have a look. Don't think Henderson is doing himself tough. Yeah, it's been a really tough few weeks for him. So let's have a look. So you all want the bucket hat. Okay. What does everybody think to my starting 11? Is that good? Are you switching Loddy out? I just thought Loddy's last half an hour was really good. Whether he can do it again, I don't know. Let me go and have a quick look, see where I've actually put this bucket hat. Give me 1 sec. Here we are, look. Here we are. Oh, there we go, look. Let's see if I can get it the right way. There we go. Beautiful, as always. So, there we go. That's my... the bucket hat is on, everybody. This is the part of the stream I love when we get to wear bucket hats. I love this part. Very small team, Jay. It is a small team, you're right. But I suppose you got to do it, haven't you? 2 midfield isn't working. Perhaps I do think that Mangala and O'Brien will be quite strong. I think we saw it at Everton briefly, which I quite like. So, yeah, it's my lucky charm hat. It's really not, actually. Since I've had it, we've not been that great. Must admit. But I've chucked it on for 2 minutes. There you go. I know I'm going to get hate for the fact it's got Wales on it. So I'm going to have to take it off. Oh, God, look at my hair already. Got the hairline of a 50-year-old man, my English teacher says. Would you believe it? Got my bloody tiger gel and everything up there for the weekend, look, for bloody football. Modern age, Jay, membership's nothing wrong with that. Could we go full time? Yeah, and I just want to say, look, I would like to... Media is what I want to do as a career, right? And it's the difference between me and other streamers. I won't say certain things because obviously I want to get into this career. I won't go here swearing because I want this to be a professional thing. This is what I want this to be. This is professional. This is real. This is personable. I do want to do this as a career. I'd love to work with Colin Frey. That's something I'd love to do, and it's a dream that I've always had. But it's not a dream that I ever realised could be possible one day. Maybe. Because I actually wanted to be an aerospace engineer. But there you go. Some things don't work out. Anyway, replay for Spurs and Charlton. Indeed. Ireland, wasn't it? Ireland for... Well, obviously, I mean, he is Irish, so it would make sense. My daughter's laughing at your hat. Oh, brilliant. Well, I've taken it off now, Andrew. So tell her that that's made me cry. Very, very upset. I love my Wales hat. Spirit of 58. Go and have a look at their stuff. Wicked stuff. Playing and coaching, 2 different things. Of course, but I mean, did quite good in the under-23s. But Stephen Reid, I think Forest probably missing him in some ways. Very strong character. Liked him a lot. Zinchenko was better than Lingard and MJ. No, I don't think so. Not for me. I think, well, Zinchenko's had a whole season in all fairness. And Lingard, and Morgan Gibbs-White haven't had all that. That being said, I do think Morgan Gibbs-White will be better. Lingard, 50-50, if they play him in the right position. But yeah. Don't ever want to see put another performance like that first off from Loddy. How can a player of his quality be so poor? God knows, to be honest, it's a bit of a shock to me because obviously the way that we were sold on him, the way I was sold on him, I was so sold on him, but it wasn't brilliant. But No, but yeah, I think you probably have to look at Leicester as a battle round performance, and that wasn't brilliant. But I'm going to have faith and put him in the next squad. That's what I'm going to do. But if not, Toffolo's a very, very reliable option. Hasn't hasn't really done anything for him to be dropped, really. I want to be a supporter of a top 6 English Premier League team, and I'm still hoping it. And you know what? The process is more fun, because even if we don't do it ever in my lifetime, I've been part of a journey that's had some ups and downs and some really fun times. So that's all that matters about football. That's all that matters. Ireland, no, because they said international experience, Phil. So yeah, Ireland's not a Premier League team. Who do you want as next manager? I'm not going to answer that question, Henry. With all due respect, good question. I'm sure for somebody else, but I will not give hypotheticals. Not Billy Davies. I've already spoken to Billy Davies. It's not happening. Yeah. Billy Davies isn't coming back. I promise. But I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals. I want Steve Cooper to stay. That's it. And for me, there's nobody else in my mind other than Steve Cooper. So if it came down to him being sacked, God forbid, touch wood, it doesn't, then maybe that discussion could happen. But even then, Cooper in, Cooper all the way. Cooper's going to lead us to victory, hopefully. And I've got faith that Monday will be a different night. We've got to have faith in this team. Got to have faith in this team. You've got to have faith in the manager as well. You've got to have faith, people. You've got to have faith. Come on. Get an interview with Billy Davies. I'm going to try. It's something I've tried before, but unfortunately he was too busy at the time, which I was gutted. But he does have my number, so maybe he'll call one day and whatever. I really don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. If you guys want a Billy Davies one, I can try. But no other manager out there excites me. Absolutely, no other manager does it for me. No other manager cares about the club the way Steve Cooper does. No other manager has done what Steve Cooper has done, in recent times. No other manager has, cared for its fan base as much as Steve Cooper has. I love Steve Cooper, and I don't want him to. I don't want him to go. Don't want him to go. So let's hope we can beat Villa on Monday. We're going to be tuning out very shortly. Please let me know what you think of this stream down below, and also, if you can share any clips of the stream on your social medias. You can clip a little bit of it and then tag me. Let me know what you think about it. If you disagree with me, feel free. I won't be going into debates on Twitter, but I'm more than happy to talk to you about Forest and about what I've said. Benitez to be appointed. I don't think that's true. Benitez has said that he doesn't want to go to Forest, so that's not necessarily true. Well, he's indicated that he doesn't want to go to Forest. Is the Cardiff job still available? Hope not. I don't think he'd take it. I think Cooper's above that now, from being honest. I know that Cooper runs on morals, though. I think he's a very moral human being, and I think he's someone that really cares about people. Yeah, I just want to say I really like Cooper, but he is way above. I don't know how to say this. He's not above us, but I don't think we deserve a person like Cooper managing our club if this is how we're going to treat it. I just don't think I don't know what we've done to deserve that. Obviously 23 years, it was beckoning. But the way he's being treated just shows we don't deserve someone like Cooper if what people are saying is true. He loves the club. He loves every single one of you watching this. And if any of you stopped him in the street, on holiday, anywhere, having a piss in the bus station or the train station, he'd probably say hello to you and get a picture with you. Probably not whilst having a piss, by the way. He's that kind of person, on and off the pitch. A great, great human being. And that is something you won't see again for me ever. Before I go too deep into that, don't know who you are myself, but my dad loves you. He's sat next to me watching. Can you say hey to Jordan? Hi, Jordan. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad that you're enjoying the streams and stuff. So Jordan, much appreciated. And Abby, also, thank you for tuning in as well. And if you don't know me, Abby, maybe you should tune in a little bit more. Come on, you got to tune in a little bit more. Get involved. I really appreciate your kindness. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everybody that's commenting. Phil, you're a legend. Chris, much appreciated. Rad Dad, everyone. And look, Ras, you're a troll, right? You're a fake account. I just want to call this out because you do this on everybody's stream. If you ever want to come on a stream and you want to talk to me about this, feel free. I know you won't, but you're a fake account. I'm not sticking up for anybody. I'm sticking up for what I believe in, and I believe that Steve Cooper's the right manager. That is as simple as it is. So, in fact, no, I am sticking up for Steve Cooper. I believe he's the right manager. I think that he's got the right work ethic. I think he's got the right attitude towards the club, and he loves Nottingham. So, keep Cooper. Otherwise, rifts will erupt. Rifts will appear in the club. They'll appear on the pitch. They will appear in every single aspect of the club. Some of them irreparable. I promise you. The damage will be massive. It will be massive. So that's just my view on it. Thank you, Rad Dad. Much appreciated. Simon Sharp. First time tonight. If it is your first time watching this, please give me, give me a holler on the comments section. Feel free. I'd love to give you a shout out and have a little chat with you. For anybody that is making their first appearance or listening tonight, really, really appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And let me know how you found me as well. Did you find me on Twitter? Did you find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you found me? You shouldn't have found me on Instagram because I don't have it. But if you did, then thank you for joining. It does take one win, Adam. One win can change everything. And as I say, 12th man, get involved, play your part, get behind the lads. You must admit Cooper's made some basic mistakes. It's a good question, and I'm not going to deny it. I think that, yes, morally, we should keep him, of course, but obviously we don't want to just run it on morals. But Cooper should be kept because he's a good manager, not because of what he's done in promotion or anything like that. I think he's a good person as well. So I would keep him based on the fact he's a good manager. He's got things to learn, but he's a young manager. And I think if you were to say to him, sign this contract, this is a project, whatever happens, we stick by you. I think the club will be much better off in the long run, and we could end up being a very well-run club. Whatever's happened at Fulham, they look like an established Premier League team now, and it looks like their project's worked. And they sticked with Marco Silva, didn't they? So let's stick with Steve Cooper. Let's not make any rash decisions. Otherwise, we know where it will go. Isaac, 109 of you watching and only 23 likes. Guys, this can't be right. Please, let's get it to at least 50 likes. Literally, just click the like button. Only takes a second. And it goes a long way. Drives up engagement, of course, which means more people get to talk about Forest with us. So please like if you can. I'm going to be tuning out in just a moment. Simon, good to hear that you to see that. And I think you've actually just followed me on Twitter as well. So really appreciate that, my friend. The alternatives aren't filling me with much confidence, so stick with the status quo. Absolutely. Managers have messed up in the past and have got back on their feet and brought the club's success. Exactly. James, your first appearance. Do me a favour, young man. I know what you're trying to do here. I see you. This is not your first rodeo on this one, my son. I met you at the weekend. You're a bit of a legend, aren't you? I was actually on James's blog as well. So go and have a look at that. James Swain on YouTube. Really, really good. On a mobile, how do I like? I think if you've got an account, Phil, it should literally just let you click the little thumbs up below the video. I think it does anyway. Just message me and I'll help you out. Principles and morals are a rare commodity, Jay. We do. Absolutely, Michael, very well put. It's very rare you see a manager that has genuine care for a club like it's his own, even though he's a Wrexham fan. And he was actually at Wrexham during the international break. But still, we've got to get behind Cooper because believe me, there is clubs that want him already and have probably already tried. Brighton tried it. We didn't let him go. And a matter of weeks changed things. So Let's get behind him. I hope you've all enjoyed this stream. Don't forget, if you subscribe, you will get access to watching. I mean, you'll get to watch it anyway, but if you subscribe, it much better help the channel. We'll be doing a Michael Dawson interview in 2 weeks. So it's not next Monday, it's the Monday after. That's when it will be released. Then we've also got some other people coming on. I'll let you guess in the comments. But let's just say they're pretty legendary. And a lot of you talk about them a lot. So I'll let you keep guessing, people. I'm not going to give you any more hints. But that's what's coming next. And Gordon, it's not that I don't like people disagreeing with me, because people disagree with me on a basis all the time. But the way that you disagree with me isn't disagreeing. You're just coming out and saying you're deluded, you're an idiot, and all this. That's not how you have an argument, Gordon. If you want to have an argument, or so not even an argument, if you want to have a discussion, you don't go out and just call someone deluded or call them an idiot or a fool, and proceed to insult them. You have a conversation, and you don't do that. That's why I respond, because you don't do that. So I've never had a problem with people disagreeing with me. People do it all the time. I'm very open-minded to looking at other people's views, and other people's views have shaped my own. Even Fletch talking today has massively changed the way I look at Forest midfield. And at first I wouldn't have agreed with him, but then listening to it more, that's, it can change your mind. So, if you want to get on the live stream ever, Gordon, feel free. But it would seem to me that you don't like it when people disagree with your opinion. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you for everybody that joined. It's really, really appreciated. I've enjoyed a lot of this stream. I've enjoyed speaking to you great people. Please like down below. Let's get this to 50 likes minimum by the end of the night. And also, please share and subscribe. Much appreciated. Have a fantastic night, everybody. We will be back. What day are we on? We're on Thursday. We will be back. I'll tell you the day we'll be back. We'll be back Sunday night. So stay tuned Sunday night for an Aston Villa preview. It will be amazing. And don't forget, if you ever want to come on the stream and talk to me, do it. Let's have a chat. I'd love to hear your views, guys, no matter who you are. Thank you all for joining. Take care, and we'll see you Sunday night at 7 p.m.